Hi guys! It has been a crazy past few days, and I'll explain why in a second. Hold on, I'm gonna chug this coffee really fast because I need it. My life. So, hello. Oh my goodness. So, pretty much what's happening is that I have this computer over here that hates me. I've had it for, I want to say, the past 4 years, 3 years, and it's just old and it hates me right now. And it has too much stuff on it. I have an external hard drive. It doesn't seem like it matters. And yeah, it's just been giving me a lot of trouble. I need to start saving for a new computer. Yes, dramatic life. But hi, I've missed you. I've been camming my butt off. It's just been very crazy. But I asked you guys on Twitter what you guys wanted to hear next on Secret Life, and you guys voted a story time, and you guys voted for this story time. So let's just get into this craziness because I just don't want this video to be too long. Oh my god, guys, I'm blonde. So I'm trying out a new hair color. This is a wig, obviously. But I was like, I don't know, I was feeling like I needed to change. I didn't know if I wanted to do blue. I didn't know if I wanted to do purple. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I found this one, and I really liked it. I had to do a lot of work. Like, it was really long. I had to, like, cut it and do all this stuff to it and everything. But yeah, and I love it, and I'm thinking about actually dyeing my real hair a little bit blonde, so we'll figure it out. You'll see in the near future. I'm thinking about doing it next week because I don't know if I like this color. A lot of people do. I'm getting a lot of good comments. At the same time, I want more of like a honey. I feel like this is too yellow. I don't know. I don't know if you agree. I feel like it is. But, so, I want to do something a little more like honey brown, like, yeah. Nah, but I'll put a picture up on the screen of kind of what I want. It's actually kind of messed up because when I sat and started thinking of like all of the stories I was going to tell you guys, I actually got like anxiety because this time in my life was so crazy and insane, and this girl was so crazy and insane, and it was just one of those like situations where it was like I had to put myself back there, and it was like a lot to handle. So yeah. Yeah, no, so I found myself like having the feels. Anyway, so to start with this story, I have to give you a little bit of backstory of how I got here, how I got in this position, and everything. So pretty much, I had to leave my house, and I ended up moving in to Nate's house. Nate's family was going through a divorce, and like his moms weren't home, so he had this like big house to himself. His one mom was like staying at like her parents' house or whatever, and his other mom was off gallivanting with her new boyfriend. It was a very complicated like novella situation. But yeah, so he had this big house, and you can imagine the antics we got into. It was a lot to handle. It was a weird time. And around this time, I was modeling like independently for the first time in my life. And so I was booking my own jobs and managing my own stuff, seeking out my own photographers, and I was on a website called Model Mayhem. I think it still exists. I might even still have an old account on there. I don't remember, because I remember I made one for Noah like a while ago. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And I was on this website, and I started becoming friends with a lot of like local photographers, and it was really cool because when I wanted to take pictures or do something, like they were there to do so. Like, you know what I mean? Like they were around. I was able to like call them and schedule it within like a day or two after I got an idea. They were very good. They were very creative. I did workshops with them, car shows, like lingerie, bathing suit calendars. It was really fun. So the two photographers, I'm not going to say their names in case, so let's name them, Henry. So coincidentally, both of their names were Henry. So we had Henry T and Henry M. So Henry T was like my main squeeze. Like he was around for anytime I wanted to chill. He was super sweet, reliable. He gave me all my photos on time. Super, super awesome. He had a friend named Henry M. And Henry M was supposedly like the like experienced one, because Henry T met Henry M on like a photography social networking thing, and like Henry M gave Henry T his first camera, so they had like a lot of like brother like love, you know. And when I met Henry M, he was just like this cute old man, super nice, very smiley, like just very like good person, good vibes. And he had all these like awesome ideas and these really great locations, and like we would have fun. At first it would usually be like all three of us, and then I actually got comfortable enough to be like alone with Henry M and like do stuff with him. So Henry M, this is gonna get a little confusing, had a friend that was famous in the photography modeling world, and he had this big studio, and we're not even gonna bother naming him because it doesn't really matter, he's irrelevant. And he knew like more well-known models, so it was like kind of cool because occasionally I would run into people like I actually knew and like friends of mine and stuff, so it was interesting. And I was introduced to this girl that was a finalist, and I'm not gonna say her name, we're gonna rename her because she's the main character of the story of my life. She was on America's Next Top Model, and she was very pretty. She seemed really cool. She's funny, big laugh, big smile, like just a cool girl. Though I only interacted with her like once or twice. I remember one time she was just like at the studio and she ended up leaving, and another time she was there like the whole day, and that's where I feel like I kind of got to know her a bit, and she was really cool. Like I liked her. She was chill. So time goes on, things happen, and now we need to leave Nate's house. Like it's being sold, it's over. So we were kind of like panicking. We were like, where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do? Like, oh my God, right? Because we were too young to get our own apartment. Like, I don't know why. We tried. That was the thing too. Like, we applied and stuff, and Eric kept saying like we were too young, we were too young, we were too young. I don't know. So we were like, damn it. So we started reaching out to friends and people that we knew. And obviously I put the word out that like we needed a place to stay. So I almost said his real name. Henry M hits me up and he's like, hey, I have this like big house, and there's a few rooms that I'm not using. Do you guys want those? And I was like, yeah, sure. How much is rent? And he says, don't worry about it. You guys get jobs first, and like we'll talk about it after, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, cool. This was really cool. I was like, cool, I'm gonna be living with this photographer. And I felt comfortable because obviously Nate was going to be there with me. And I was like, this is going to be a good situation. It was not. It was not a good situation. But it was my only situation, and it was the only thing that I could do at that time. So upon saying yes and driving there and getting all my stuff there, now I have no other choice of where to go. All hell kind of broke loose. And this is where, like, I got emotional, like, rethinking about a lot of this, because there's a lot of, like, other little things that happened, like, while I was there. For instance, like, my dog got killed. Just, like, a lot of hard things to swallow that I had to recover. But that's not about my roommate, though. You know what I mean? So we're not going to get into that. No, we're just not going to get into that. We'll talk a little bit about the house. The house was not that big. He explained it as, like, big. It was nice. It had, like, 4 bedrooms, but it was very, like, cramped. I don't know how to explain it. He had a lot of stuff. He was kind of like a hoarder, but, like, he, like, a lot of boxes, a lot of old stuff, like, just, like, taking over hallways and things. And a million cats. So they pooped everywhere, and it was really dirty. And it was just really weird. And then when I got there, the girl, and let's name her now. What are we gonna name this bitch? Doodah. What are we gonna name this bitch? She's never gonna see this video, but, like, what are we gonna name her? Okay, name on my screen. Danielle. We're naming her Danielle, okay? Her name's Danielle now. Hi. All of a sudden, I show up, and Danielle's there, and Henry's there, and they're, like, in the driveway. Like, a couple, kind of. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. He's like, oh, yeah, like, she's staying with me for a while. Like, she's going through a hard time, too, blah, blah, blah. Now, I was under the impression that she was from up north, like, 2 hours up north. So I was, like, a little confused, but I was like, okay. I found out why later, and we'll get into that in a second, why she was here and not there. But, yeah. So at first, like, it's all smiles, it's all good. And I don't know, like, what happened necessarily. Like, she was really sweet, she was really nice to Nate. Like, she wasn't, like, overly giving, but she was a nice girl. And then there was, like, stuff that was going on that, like, they were arguing between themselves. Like, at night sometimes I would hear them arguing, like, not screaming, but just, like, what made their life a little weird was that the hallway was kind of in the shape of an L, and her bedroom was, like, over here, and his was here, and mine was here. So, like, they had, like, the whole little back side of the house, like, to themselves. And she swore up and down that they weren't, but I think they were. He said they were, and I just don't think he would lie about that. Like, I think she was just embarrassed to be like, oh yeah, I'm to live here, because it just seemed weird. But it kind of makes sense, like, in perspective, in hindsight, why she hated me so much. And again, I'll explain that in a second. Here's where I'm starting to interject, like, hindsight things, okay? So she felt threatened. And I'm not even saying that on the lines of, like, oh my god, she was jealous of me, because no, she was a beautiful girl. She was a model too. Like I said, she was on America's Next Top Model. She was pretty. She was, you know, but she was threatened. And I think it was because they were. And when I was living there is when I started experimenting with, like, lingerie and nudes, and, like, because I was in my house and I had this photographer that I was comfortable with, and I didn't think of it as anything, and it was just kind of the way it goes. But I saw, like, the bitterness starting to happen. So she was definitely going through something at this time, and at first, like, I didn't really know what was going on. I wasn't really told what was going on, and it took about, I want to say, like, 2 or 3 weeks before I started finding out the truth. And here is the truth. Oh my gosh. She started escorting, but really not. She was more of a actual, like would walk the streets in Atlantic City. She actually told me a story about a guy that she catered to that had no teeth, no arms, and no legs. She was doing this in Atlantic City and living in hotels and having a really hard time. And she met this guy that hired her off of like a website or whatever, but then ended up liking her. And they started on the regular, and she got pregnant. He ends up being like something crazy, like a blood, but like a real blood, like straight up gang. Like, I don't really know too much about it, but I am from New York, so he got her in trouble, and she pretty much ran to New Jersey and started doing her ish in Jersey, and then she met Henry and she moved in with him. I find this out. That was kind of like hard to go through. I was leaving out a few like key details, but yeah. And so it was kind of sad because, like I said, she was like a model, and like I thought she was with an agency, and I thought she was like, I mean, she was on America's Next Top Model. That's like a thing. I don't know. I was young. And so you can imagine like the roller coaster of emotions and situations and stuff that now would occur in my near future, and with her is what I'm saying. So she's starting to get a belly, she's starting to get big, and now she's starting to get mean, like really mean. One of the first things that I remember like stood out that like really hurt my feelings was that I made them dinner, like everyone, and she refused to sit at the table with us, and she wanted to sit like in the living room. And when I brought her plate, she got mad because I brought her a fork and not a spoon. And she's like, I'm a spoon person, I only eat with spoons. And I was like, okay, like I'm giving you like steak, but sure. So I brought her a spoon, and she like threw the fork at me pretty much, and I was like, oh Lord, okay girl, okay. And then she would do like really weird things. Like the one time she got like an Uber, and she went to the dollar store, and she bought like all these like fake flowers from the dollar store. And me and Nate come back from wherever we were, and we see her in the front yard all crouched over, putting the fake flowers in the bushes and like all around the property, I guess thinking that it looked really nice. And when Henry showed up, he was like, this looks really tacky, like we can't have this here, like the neighbor committee or whatever is gonna yell at us, like we need to take it. And he started taking it off, and she flipped out and started like physically assaulting him in the front yard. And we were like, what the hell? So me and I like snuck in the back, kind of like, okay, this is nuts. And then she kept obviously like bringing up over the next few days, like, that looked pretty, right? Like, that looked pretty, right? Like, just not understanding that like it wasn't allowed, not that it didn't look pretty. Like, another thing that was really funny is that, or this is not really funny, but just, she had a really effed up life, like as a kid and stuff like that. And she would always complain about how it like ruined her now adult life. And I get that. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot that affected me from when I was a child and stuff. But Henry would always be like, well, Oprah. Like, he would use Oprah as like a excuse for her not to whine. Like, Oprah had this effed up life and she's Oprah, so girl would be Oprah. But like, he would say it a lot, and it was just like really funny, and she would get really mad, and she'd be like, I'm not Oprah, I'm not Oprah. Look. I really can't. Oh. So he has over this other model, and like she's immediately jealous, like telling us behind this other model's back, like all this stuff, just like being real bitter and real ew. And now the girl is like, it's like probably like a 3-day thing. So she comes and like shoots for like 2 days, and then the third day she like came for like a barbecue, and like she was collecting her photos, and like it was really chill. I actually really liked her, and I hung out with her like twice on my own, and like she was really cute and a cool girl. She had a really nice boyfriend and stuff, and like I only stopped being friends with her because I moved. Like this girl was legit, like no problems with her, like she wasn't anything. Anyway, I'm not gonna name her again because it doesn't really matter, but just follow me for a minute. So we're in our room, and this is like after the barbecue, the night's kind of like over, you know. And at this point, Danielle was like a good 4 months pregnant, like, but she was showing. I don't really know when you start showing, because we didn't know the gender yet. I don't know, it doesn't matter. And all of a sudden I just start hearing yelling, like really loud, kind of ghetto ratchet ass yelling back and forth. And I hear Henry being like, girls, girls, girls. And it's kind of inaudible from like where I am because my door is closed. I have music on, I have YouTube on, I'm smoking weed with Nate, and like we're just chilling, doing our own thing. We kind of treated the room as like our own apartment. I think that was another thing too. Side note, like Danielle kept making it like, oh, we're family meetings, family. And I'm like, biatch, like I'm paying rent to rent a room. This is my apartment. Like we're not family. Like back to the story of the yelling. The yelling turns into like straight up like physical. Like I start hearing banging on walls, like breaking of glass, and I'm like, what is happening? So Nate and I lock the door, but we're both like super nosy, so we're like ear against the door. I really can't tell you what the fight was about. It was one of those like really petty, like, you a hoe, like, I don't know what it was about. But now she's pregnant, fighting each other, like tumbling down the hallway, banging into our door, banging into the wall, screaming, having a fight literally outside our door. Like Danny was like, I'm gonna fight you, I don't care that I'm pregnant, like blah blah blah. Like it was nuts. And I like to the point where I was like, should we call the cops? Like, what is happening? Like, holy F. And it was crazy. And the girl ends up leaving, obviously. Danny has like a busted lip, and it's just like messed up. And then she gets mad at me for not coming out and defending her. And I was like, first of all, I'm a baby. Second of all, I'm scared. Third of all, I don't do fights. I don't get into fights that aren't my own fights. Like, and I'm just not a physical person like that. Like, can you really see me fighting? Like, no. So now I want to say from this moment on, she hates me. Like, I didn't defend her. I already told her a few times that like these family meetings and ish need to like stop, because like, just stop. Like, she knows that she's getting on my nerves, so she knows that I don't particularly like her. She knows that Nate doesn't particularly like her, so she's just like done with us. Like, she doesn't even want to try to be our friend anymore. And I think that was like a mistake. Like, maybe I should have just stayed fake, but then if that meant like defending her and like getting into a physical altercation for her, like, not worth it. Like, I don't do that. So here is where the antics started to begin. So she started to like eat my food. She started to clog my drain in my bathroom so I couldn't use my bathroom, and then not allow me to use her bathroom. she accused me of stealing stuff on multiple occasions from her room. She accused me a lot of stealing things. And then she would steal my weed. That was something she started doing. She started sabotaging my photo shoots, like deleting pictures and stuff like that. One of her more fun ones, and this is a story I definitely wanted to tell, was she would wake up at like 7, 8 in the morning and go into my bathroom. Now, okay, so I don't know how to explain this, but my bathroom was like across from my bedroom. So like it wasn't attached to my bedroom. She didn't have to go in my room. So she would go into my bathroom and she would put her iPod onto like the bank, is what it's called, I don't know, and start blasting like the worst like 90s R&B. I like 90s R&B. These were songs I've never heard before, like just bad, like one-hit wonder R&B songs, and blast it as loud as she could for like no reason. She would just like get ready in my bathroom and like brush her teeth and like do her shit and then like leave my bathroom a mess. So the one day I just like I had enough, and it was after she already woke me up and did everything, and the hallway finally got quiet. She turned off the music and I hear her leave into her room. Like I hear her pass by my room and go down to her room, and I was done. And I was like, I'll be right back. And Nate was like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, I'll be right back. And I like, guys, you have to understand, I was under a lot of ish. So I went to the bathroom and I took her iPod off of the bank because for some reason she left it in there. And I turned the water on just so it was like a tiny drip, like you know how you do that? And I took, so we're turning to the iPod. You see like where the headphone jack is? I took the like headphone jack and I put it under the water just so the water just went inside the little hole. And I immediately turned it off and wiped it clean and like put it back. Killed her iPod. Never had to hear that music at 8 in the morning ever again because she couldn't afford a new iPod. And yeah, done with that music, done with all of it. Like her iPod broke, she was really upset, and like Henry refused to get her a new one. And I was just like, and the best part was she had no idea it was me. Like she just thought her iPod broke. So I was like, thank goodness, because obviously she would have totally killed me, and that would have been really scary. Some of like the other things that she would do that started getting like really extra is she started having that like boyfriend over, and he would come all the way from like Brooklyn, and like they would like hang out, and he was really obviously really sketchy and like really scary, and like he was always doing stuff. Like I was always scared. I was always like lock my room and stuff, but like he was always like I would, okay, here's what I'm trying to say. One time I was in my room and I was like gonna go get some water, so I like leave my room and I go into the kitchen, and all of a sudden I start hearing someone like rumbling through something, and I'm like, what is that? And I didn't think anyone was home, and I like turn around and the garage door is open, and I walked over to the garage door, and I looked out, and it was him, and he was rummaging through Henry's stuff. Like I don't know why, I don't know what he was looking for, but he was just rummaging through his stuff. Like he was just very nosy and sketchy. So it was weird. Like, so yeah, no, like the more pregnant she would get, the meaner she got, the crazier she got, the more flippy her personalities would get, and it just like was so much to handle. It was a lot. She hated me. A few times she would try to get like physical with me, and I just like wouldn't fight her. Like I remember one time she like held me against a wall, and I was just like, but she was a lot. You know what? I'm gonna go get Nate because he probably has some more stories that I'm not thinking of, and I mean he was there for all of this, so he should probably talk too, right? Let's go get Nate. Hello, is it me you're looking for? I don't know why that popped into my head. It did. Welcome to my weird story time about our lives.
Okay,
so
where are we at?
Okay, so I named JM. I named him Henry. So we're living at Henry's house.
Okay.
And Crazy's name is Danny. Or Danielle.
Okay.
Okay. And
I can't imagine her being a Danielle.
I didn't want to give too much away though because she was on like America's Next Top Model and stuff, and I didn't want people to like dig too hard. Yeah. Her name's Danielle, guys. Danielle. We know this. Okay, so I told the story about how I broke her iPod, and I told the story about how she threw a fork at me because she wanted a spoon, and the time she put fake flowers all around the front yard. I don't know, just what do you remember of that time? Oh, I told the time that I caught her like weird gangster literal boyfriend digging through Henry's stuff. Henry's stuff in the garage.
I don't even remember. Dude,
I don't really think you were like there.
I blacked out so much of that because it was so stressful and horrible.
It was traumatizing.
The only thing I really remember is what I was saying about her boyfriend giving me that alcohol and there literally being like an inch of just
okay, wait, tell the story. This is like my worst nightmare.
Her 90s rapper looking boyfriend having a bottle of alcohol and it literally having like an inch of just disgustingness at the bottom of it and him being like, here, take a shot. And
oh my god, I almost gagged. I almost actually gagged. I can't.
No, I did not drink it, but it was horrible. I don't even understand like what was that? What was in there? Like, was he just backwashing into the thing that hard that there was just stuff collecting? How old was that bottle? Like, so many questions.
That's literally my worst nightmare.
It made like the tequila worm look great. Like, oh my god.
Oh, I told the story about how she had that fight. But yes, what do you remember from that fight? Because I felt like I was like leaving stuff out. Because like I couldn't remember like...
It sounded intense.
I couldn't remember what it was about or like why.
I think she was jealous of him taking pictures and then it ended up being like, I'm hotter than you, and then it just escalated to like serious insults about people's lives and it just kept going at like 100 miles per hour. It was like 5 minutes and it had become like one of the worst
I was saying how I believed I felt like that was like the big turning point in all of our relationships because like she was so mad that I didn't defend her because like why the fuck like
like what?
So like yeah, so everything kind of got really bad after that.
Defend her, like attack another girl, like off of defense for someone who's literally being terrible to us the entire time we were there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I remember sitting in the room and being like, she's pregnant. Like, there's a pregnant girl out there fighting, and still being like, no, I'm not going out there. I'm not breaking that up. I'm not getting stabbed or something. It sounded terrible. I was like, I'm not beat. She can hold her own. Like,
that was wild.
It'd take a lot for me to feel like that.
I don't remember.
Every time you talked to her, there was something she was complaining about or she wanted done, and it had to be my fucking problem for some reason, because I'm what to her? I don't understand.
Oh yeah, she treated you really weird.
Yeah, like I was her baby daddy or something. I don't understand.
She was hella delusional about it. I kind of started talking a little bit about like the whole family thing she'd always try to pull, like...
You're not a family.
We're not
I am not here by, like, no.
Oh my god. That was traumatizing.
That was insane.
Yeah.
That's why my hair is gray. At least part of it.
You're like, this is why I'm an old man. I'm trying to think of like you're to tell something.
I really don't remember hardly anything. Like I really hardly remember anything. I remember like searching through his house.
Repressed memories.
Trying to find the hidden fortune in there somewhere. There being like a refrigerator in the garage that looked like one of those episodes of like Hoarders, where you open it and it's just like bugs and that are dead, not even alive anymore, like terrifying.
I
Like, he
forgot
definitely
about
was a
the
hoarder,
refrigerator.
but, like, that refrigerator, it was straight off the TV.
And then
It was
she tried to
so
make you
intense.
clean it.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, clean that refrigerator in the garage."
Out of nowhere,
No,
one
thank
day
you.
she was like, "You gotta clean that refrigerator." He was like, "Oh no."
Hell no.
Oh my
tried.
God, I'm talking
I
like
tried to unhoard his house.
he had like, okay, go
Yeah.
shopping, for like a month of food, and then leave it in a refrigerator for how many years?
Forever.
Oh my God, it was like
Just forever.
it didn't even smell anymore. Like that's,
Yeah, no,
it was
the
fossilized.
bugs weren't alive. Nothing was.
The flies were
It
like
was
this
just-
big, like.
I don't even know what was in there.
I feel like this is becoming more about Henry and this is about Danielle.
I think he's more of the story. She's an accessory to him, so. Really.
Yeah, it should be called My Crazy Roommate and Landlord.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, landlord edition. Because she was a problem, but she was like, I almost, after like really thinking about everything, I almost like, not feel bad for her, but like, she was damaged. Like, she wasn't doing this as like.
She needed so much attention.
She needed like some milk, a hug, like therapy, medicine, shelter.
A recovery dog.
A recovery dog, spirit animal.
Yeah, like.
This poor girl, a fucking seance, a Ouija board, some sage around her
Yeah.
face.
She really did.
She was possessed by demons. I don't know how to explain it because it was just like, and okay, now both him and I have been around people too that are bipolar. Maybe it was that, but it wasn't that.
It
Like,
wasn't natural.
it was
bipolar.
more. No.
The one thing I just remembered was that she was always trying to take my Xbox. Always wanted to borrow it and use my Xbox. And I was like, "You're not fucking getting my Xbox." Like, absolutely not. And we had like one TV in there, and like that's what was hooked up to it. So we were always using the Xbox at the time, and it was like,
Yeah.
she totally would have like pawned that shit or something.
That's what I was
swear
gonna
to
say,
God,
at
it should have
first-
disappeared.
at
She's
first-
been like, "I don't know, it broke." Like,
Yeah.
threw it in the garbage. Like, no, fuck out of here, man. You're not touching my shit.
At first she was like innocent about it, but then like
she started getting mad. That
Yeah,
wasn't giving it to her.
and then
I'm
it
I'm not
became,
fucking
like,
giving you my Xbox,
not
'cause,
okay.
Like, video games are life. It's my life we're talking about. You just
That's my
take
life.
Like, no.
you will not
Absolutely
have my heart.
not.
Lots of repressed memories. We
Yeah,
had to like
it's very repressed.
next video we go to a hypnotist to remember. No kidding. Like,
I'm super allergic to plants, and the house was just surrounded on all sides by plants. And then the dude was asking me to do all the yard work. And like, if I go outside and someone cuts some grass
Is
like
that when you
2.5
got that
miles
crazy-
away, I'll get poison ivy. So you can imagine if there's like poison ivy and poison oak just covering everything, and then multiple people cutting shit, and then I'm out there in short sleeves sweating, cutting shit. My skin almost like fell off from poison ivy. And
I
poison
think he
oak.
had it in his mouth, if I could remember. We had to go to the hospital, and
It was
his
horrible.
one mom is an RN, so like thankfully we went to go see her, and like he got like steroids and stuff for it, but it was like that bad. I was so worried too, cause like I can't drive, and like he had to like drive himself. His eyes were like swollen shut, like. Oh my God, I forgot about that. I didn't remember that was like there. You had it in your mouth, I think. You had it like.
It was just bad. I've never had it that bad. I've had it a lot of times. It's never that bad.
Can people die of that?
Yeah, if you have like a super adverse allergic reaction, yeah, you can die from that.
I've never seen anyone have a reaction like that before, like ever. And
Yeah.
my friend's
My
sister
friend-
was allergic to peanut butter.
My one friend Chris, whenever he gets it, his skin literally would start with like liquefy. Like it would just start looking like burns when he got poison ivy.
Ew, really? I've never had it.
Really?
No.
You're probably not allergic to it then.
I don't explore the woods either.
It doesn't matter for me. I could just walk past someone cutting their lawn and like get it.
see me
It's horrible.
see me run through it. I mean,
Yeah, we used to go back in those woods, and then we'd go back in the woods behind that house, and there would be like fucking like pentagrams and shit all carved in the ground, and it was like the type of woods that like at night it would become pitch black, like you couldn't see anything.
they were
back
definitely
there.
doing seances.
Yeah,
in
they
the
were
woods.
straight up. They were
But I don't
just
think they were the
so-
good ones.
Yeah, no, it looked
Like
it
I
looked
think
horrible.
I think that like I'm not talking wicked.
Bad vibes.
No, I'm talking like I'm talking
Like-
the devil lived in those woods. I think
Yeah.
we found the Jersey Devil.
Something like that was going on back there. It just didn't look friendly.
It was also really pretty during the day.
Yeah, it was like
It was
majestic.
like a mystical forest.
Yeah, it was majestic
like that.
as fuck.
If
But
we
at
should
night,
like,
horrifying.
if we ever go back, we should see if we can find that forest again.
I know exactly where it is.
New video idea, la la la.
There's definitely more tradition.
I know. I
There's
feel like
so
we're
much more
leaving
shit.
out so much right now.
I remember a fight about chicken that went really overboard, but I don't remember what the conclusion was.
I
or
kind of
what
remember too
happened.
something about fried chicken.
I think you were cooking the chicken and she wanted to fry the chicken. I don't know. Something fucking weird and
Chicken.
unnecessary. I don't know.
I think that's why a lot of it's forgotten.
Yeah.
It was so.
It was so just didn't make any sense. It's hard to
Warped.
remember shit that you don't even understand. Like,
Yeah. I felt like a baby.
yeah, just
like
helpless.
a
trapped.
baby sitting while just like
Yeah.
everything's going chaotic. You're like, I don't understand this. Like,
Why am I here?
it took me 5 years to now look back and I still don't understand it. Yeah. Comment below if you've had a crazy roommate landlord situation. I mean, I feel like a lot of us have, and the stories are kind of fun.
You haven't
so
lived unless you've had a fear of living in your
yeah.
own house.
Yeah, right? You haven't lived until you become recluse. You're scared to leave.
Yeah, just can't do people anymore.
Give this video a thumbs up if you like more story times like this, and also tell Nate how cute he is, because he's not in every video and he feels
Many
weird about being in
I'm not
videos.
in any videos.
Well, you're Uncle Benny,
That's true. It's in one video.
but I don't feel like you were yourself. I feel like you're cosplaying, so that's what made you more like able to like talk. He's shy.
Anxiety.
Alright, thank you guys for chilling with me and hearing about a weird chapter of my crazy life. Please subscribe, share this video if you thought it was interesting or funny. Yeah, I will see you on Tuesday with another video. And we're just gonna catch up to everything that I said I was gonna do that I didn't do. Efficiency. Patreon and merch store are down below, so check that out. And yeah, I love you guys. I will see you Tuesday. I already said that. I'm gonna end this video now because it's probably too long. See you. I'm not gonna say it again. Bye. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot. The hell? What is wrong with me? I want to give an extra special thanks and woo, and I got 100,000 followers on Instagram, and I got a few hundred on here recently, and I'm just like, wow, like, honestly, thank you for all the support. Like, I really want this to work, and I can't believe it's kind of working, and I'm just super ecstatic and grateful. And yeah, so I'm so late right now. I'm supposed to be doing a live stream and I'm late for that, so I'm going to get onto Instagram. Oh my god. Alright, I love you. Bye. This goes out to all the men seeking my attention. I love you all, but I got something to say, so listen. Please get your dick out of my DMs. I'm losing all my respect towards men, so put your balls away. Put your balls away. So please stop trolling on my page. Please act your age and put your balls away. Put your balls away. Put them away. Like, seriously. Please put them in the pot. Don't take pictures of your balls and send them to strangers. Don't do it. Enough. Someone get me out of this coat.